Revenge films.
My name is Nicole. I live together with my husband, but recently, almost every single day, my husband has been taking me with him back to his parents' house. My mother-in-law is a wonderful person, but I still have to be extra thoughtful around her, and it is a little tiring. Hey, we're going again? Are you sure you're not bothering your mom like this? Every time we go, you're always ending up trying to have dinner and taking a bath over there.
It's fine. It's been 10 years since my dad died. My brother was there until now, but my brother got married and moved out too. My mom is the one asking us to come over because she's lonely.
It was true that my brother-in-law recently got married, and even though he was living with his mom until now, he moved quite far away. That's why I could understand why my mother-in-law might be lonely. That being said, going over every single day like this honestly doesn't feel right. No matter how many times I tried to tell my husband.
My mom is inviting us over, and you're not going to come?
It's not like that, but...
Then why are you coming? You saying you think my mom is gonna be the evil mother-in-law to you?
I never said anything like that. Your mother is a very kind person. That's why I'm worried we're overdoing it.
That's not for you to worry about. Come on, let's go.
Every time we would go to her house, my mother-in-law warmly welcomed us. Welcome. Do you want to stay for dinner again tonight?
Of course, Mom.
I'm very sorry all the time. Don't be silly. Come on in. My husband was never one to help out around the house, but when we would go back to his mother's house, he would get even higher up on his white carriage, and once he laid down on the couch and turned on the TV, that was it. He wouldn't move. And yet, he had the nerve to demand towards me or his mom.
I'm hungry. Is dinner ready yet?
I was increasingly irritated by my husband's behavior, but there was no way I could say any of that in front of my mother-in-law. In the end, the day after eating dinner again, my husband even took a bath there before I went home. My husband was working as a salaryman at a normal company, but every so often he would have business dinners with his bosses and come home late. But every other day besides that, he would take me with him to his mother's house. Every single time my mother-in-law would cook dinner for us, which I already felt guilty about, but sometimes I also wanted to cook what I wanted to eat and have dinner at home. But I also couldn't take her kindness for granted, and I realized that I was sighing more and more every day. Then one day, I got a phone call from my mother-in-law. Nicole, I'm really sorry to bother you, but would you mind coming over? Of course, I'll be right over. That day, my husband had a business dinner, so he was going to be home late. I had just cooked myself what I wanted to eat and finished dinner. I thought it was strange that my mother-in-law would call me, especially at this time. So I wondered if there was something on her mind. To my shock, as soon as I got to her house, she'd sat down on her knees to apologize to me. What? What's going on? Please, get up! I'm so very sorry. I know that your mother is sick and that you are struggling, but I don't have much of my husband's life insurance left, and there's only so much that I can do to support you while living off my social security. Please, I beg you for your understanding. Oh, wait, please, what's going on? What? My mother is sick? Support me? I couldn't understand anything that just came out of my mother-in-law's mouth, and I started to panic. First of all, Mother isn't sick or anything like that. She's very healthy. And what do you mean, support me? What? I heard that your mother was sick and the medical fees were very expensive. So my son told me that you guys didn't have any money and he asked me to support you. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Also, I don't know what support that is, but I never received anything. Before that, I had heard that you didn't have any money, so I was giving my husband a little extra every month. There's no way! I've never received anything, not once. The two of us looked at each other blankly, and we were so shocked at what the other was saying that we both fell silent. Oh, wait a second. Let me just organize my thoughts really quickly. Yes, I'm trying to as well. A few moments of silence later. Does this mean that we're both being fooled? I believe so. So I need to speak to my son about this. Yes. He is working late today, right? Let me know when you are both free. I'll adjust my schedule and let's have a proper chat with him. If he tries to come up with any excuses in the meantime, we'll be in trouble. So please, don't say anything to him. You got it. I went straight home, and my husband arrived home shortly after as though nothing had happened. When I looked at my husband's face, my blood was boiling. But I knew that this is not time. So I desperately suppressed my feelings and let the days pass. Then that day, my mother-in-law invited us over to her house.
What on earth is going on?
My husband seemed annoyed, but as soon as he saw the person waiting for us at his mother's house, he jumped.
My brother? What are you doing here?
My brother-in-law looked nothing like my husband, and was a lot scarier than him as well.
We need to talk to you. Sit down there.
My husband couldn't go against his older brother and quietly sat down. Then my brother-in-law said something that even shocked me.
Mom asked me to do a little digging, so I looked into what you've been up to. But you lied about those business dinners, and you were actually spending your money on escorts, weren't you? How do you know that? A friend of mine used to work at an investigative agency, and I had a connection, so I had them look into it.
I couldn't believe it. My husband was not only lying to me and his mom for money, he was also lying about the business dinners and draining his money on escorts. My mother-in-law sat there with our jaws dropped.
You were lying to Mom and to Mr. Cole, weren't you? What? No, well...
I think that's what he said when my brother-in-law's right jab met my husband right in the cheek, and he went flying across the room and fell smack on the tile.
That was a rhetorical question! Do you have any idea what you've done? Looks like you've already withdrawn over $30,000 from Mom. And on top of that, you were getting $500 every month from your wife. I was always planning on returning it somehow. And how exactly were you planning on returning it, you piece of crap? And in order to make it seem like your lies were more believable, you were dragging her to the house all the time. You're truly the worst.
When my mother-in-law and I found out about my husband's lies, I had so much anger boiling inside of me. But when I found out that he was spending that money on escorts, whatever love I had left in my husband disappeared so quickly, it was almost laughable. Not only me, but my mother-in-law was working so hard to cut costs, and yet $30,000? And on top of that, to use my mother and say that she was sick. What an abusive scumbag. Mother-in-law, brother-in-law, I'm so very sorry, but I would like to get a divorce. I can't be with someone like this any further, and I can only look at him with disdain.
What? Wait a minute! It's not like I went to a hotel or anything like that! I wasn't cheating on you! Why is this turning into a divorce?
Why? Are you being serious right now? You may not know this, but your mother got down on her knees to apologize to me. Thinking that my mother was sick and to apologize that she couldn't support us any further. Do you have any idea how your mother or I felt in that moment? You have done something unforgivable. There's no turning back from here.
It's exactly as she said.
You piece of crap. I don't think of you as my son anymore. Not only were you taking money, you lied and said that Nicole's mother was sick.
That was just a little convenient. It's not like she's actually sick, so everything is fine, right? I see. Well, in that case, in my mind, you're dead now.
That's true. I'm going to think the same way.
Hey, what are you both saying? I'm right here and I'm alive! Why are you just erasing my existence? Hey! That's exactly what you've done to yourself. You don't have a family anymore. Good luck on your own now. But why?
After that, I wanted nothing more to do with my husband, so I went through a lawyer for everything. Of course, I sued him for all the money and trouble he caused, and made sure he paid every last dollar. After that, I still see my mother-in-law. I don't know how I could possibly apologize to you for everything that happened. Please, what are you saying? I was always so grateful that I got so lucky to have such a kind mother-in-law. We were forcing ourselves in almost every day, and you never once made us feel unwelcome, if anything. I hate to think what could have happened if we didn't have that discovery. If you are ever struggling or need anything at all, you can always reach out to me. We may not be family anymore, but I still adore you, and I hope that maybe we can be friends and go out for tea sometimes. Of course, I would love that. Well, I'm not your mother-in-law anymore, so you can just call me Michiko. All right, Miss Michiko. Because I ended up married to a selfish, lying loser of a husband, I am now a divorcee. But it led me to meeting my wonderful mother-in-law, and that is one of my greatest joys in my life. After that, my ex-husband was disowned by his mother and his brother, and he lost all money to support his escorts, much less himself. Of course, the escorts immediately ghosted him too. What goes around comes around. Hopefully, he realizes the weight of what he's done and lives the rest of his life regretting it.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.